Hello guys! This year, 2024, there were some unexpected changes, as we will be commenting on in this news. Will it be possible for Alabama to re-establish itself with new recruits, already combining with the old players? Let's analyze it, but first subscribe to the channel. Alabama football, led by Kalen DeBoer, attracts both optimistic and skeptical eyes. Despite significant roster changes during the offseason, Alabama still has a solid return in production. At several positions, such as inside linebacker, defensive line, and interior offensive line, the Tide has a clear understanding of what they are getting out of returning quality starters. In other areas, like Jalen Milroe's quarterback play and the skilled players around him, Alabama has stability but will need an improved performance from last season. However, some positions are total question marks for the Crimson Tide. The concentrated departure left the Tide with little to no proven production at some of the most critical position groups on the field. The performance of these positions will be crucial in determining whether or not Alabama achieves program goals. Elijah Pritchett, the presumptive starter at right tackle, needs to elevate his game to avoid being the weakest link on a stout offensive line. The redshirt sophomore was released last season and faced some challenges, but should be much better in 2024 with that experience under his belt. If Pritchett struggles, younger players like Wilkin Formby will be ready to replace him. However, if he lives up to the 5-star rating he had in the 2022 recruiting class, he could be the final piece on the best offensive line Alabama has put on the field since 2020. Quandarius Robinson. Edge rusher Quandarius Robinson has a big role to play as he hopes to fill the role that Dallas Turner and Will Anderson Jr. redshirt senior, who has been in Tuscaloosa through every up and down since the summer of 2020. Robinson is one of the most experienced players of team. He is expected to be a useful pass rusher and at the same time very solid against the run at the Wolf position in Kane Wommack's defense. Still, there's a chance Robinson exceeds expectations. On paper, this defense lacks a game-changing pass rusher right now. If Robinson proves to be that guy, it would change the entire dynamic of the defense and increase the team's overall ceiling. Alabama was an NFL pass rusher factory under coach Nick Saban, and Robinson could be the first of the DeBoer era. Domani Jackson. Cornerback Domani Jackson might be the most important talent player on the roster. The USC transfer is one of only 2 corners on the team with legitimate playing experience, along with Wake Forest transfer Deshaun Jones, who also falls into this category. The cornerback room in general is a total mystery at this point and will be the most important aspect of Alabama's defense. The front 7 is very well fortified and should be reliable, but if Bama gets poor cornerback play, he won't be able to keep opponents out of the end zone. On the other hand, a reliable corner or anything better would probably make Alabama one of the best defenses in college football. The experience of the front 7 should help the secondary, as Bama should be good against the run and be able to generate pass rush. Jackson is believed to be the starter at one corner, while Jones, true freshman Xavier Brown and others will compete for the other spot. This group as a whole must play well for Alabama to be a complete football team this fall. So it's an optimistic forecast for this team, and what do you think? Will Kadyn Proctor do everything differently at Alabama now? Kadyn Proctor, a freshman All-American offensive lineman, surprised everyone when he decided to leave Alabama in January and transfer to Iowa. And the crowd didn't like it very much, but this move was seen as a return to his roots, as Proctor grew up on the outskirts of Des Moines and is considered the highest-rated recruit in the state's history. However, his departure was a blow to the Crimson Tide, who were dealing with Nick Saban's retirement and an ever-changing team. Wilkin Formby, Proctor's former teammate, kept faith in his friend and linemate's eventual return. In several phone calls, he told Proctor, "You'll be back, man." Proctor remembers that initially they joked about it, but over time, reality began to take shape. Proctor's transfer is considered one of the most significant in college football history. In an exclusive interview with 247 Sports, Proctor shared his perspective on the events that led to his decision to return to Alabama. He spoke candidly about his emotions following Saban's retirement, his initial uncertainties upon arriving at Iowa, and the decision process that led him back to Alabama. Today, Proctor expresses an overriding sense of humility. He admits, "I definitely regret it. It's probably one of the worst decisions I've made in my life. Looking back, there were so many people who cared about me here and tried to tell me this was the best place for me. I really wasn't thinking clearly. I let Coach Kalen DeBoer and the team try to convince me to stay, but I was so determined to come home that no one could change my mind." Proctor acknowledges that even his parents tried to give him advice, but ultimately said, "Okay, you'll figure it out for yourself." And that's exactly what happened. Proctor gave them credit and admitted, "You were right. There is nothing more I can do other than admit that you were right and that I made a mistake." This admission of error was not the last difficult conversation Proctor had. When he decided to enter the transfer portal, he went directly to DeBoer's office at the Alabama football facility and apologized in person. He said, "I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. I'm ready to come back and give everything for this team." Proctor describes this moment as humiliating, as it is not like him to do this. However, he felt it was the right thing to do because he realized he hadn't really listened. He also extended his apology to his teammates and is grateful that they accepted his return with open arms. Proctor wants everyone to know he's ready to move on. He promises they will see a different person. Former Alabama five-star running back Richard Young adopts new number for 2024 season. The upcoming Alabama football season brings a change that fans will need to become familiar with. Richard Young, a redshirt freshman running back who wore number 25 last season, has decided to adopt a new number for the 2024 season. Did you see? Originally from Florida, Young had a notable performance in the 2023 season, with 24 rushing yards and a touchdown on 9 attempts over 3 games. His spring performance was equally impressive, scoring a rushing touchdown on A-Day at Bryant-Denny Stadium. However, Young decided to make a significant change for the fall season. As revealed on his Instagram, Young chose the number 9 as his new jersey number. This number has special meaning for him as he ranked 9th at Lehigh Senior High School in Lehigh Acres, Florida. Young was one of the most dominant players in the 2023 recruiting cycle, boasting a 5-star rating. In addition to changing the number, will it change the game enough to help Alabama? Let's wait. Now the latest news. People believe in DeBoer's talent. See why. The retirement of Nick Saban, a legendary figure in college football, has spawned a prevailing narrative this offseason: Alabama won't be able to maintain its success without him. It will be? Saban, whose dominance at the helm of the Crimson Tide is undisputed, left an impressive legacy in his 17 years of service, including 6 national championships, 9 Southeastern Conference titles, 4 Heisman Memorial Trophy winners and 8 college football playoff appearances. However, Saban passed the reins to Kalen DeBoer, a winner in his own right, who took over as Alabama's next head coach on January 12. DeBoer was able to retain the Tide's core of players, including names like Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, Dylan Lonergan, Justice Haynes, Jam Miller, Richard Young, Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law, Tyler Booker, Jaden Roberts, C.J. Dipree, Deontay Lawson, Jihad Campbell, Malachi Moore and Devonta Smith. These players could have chosen to leave Alabama, but they chose to stay, believing in DeBoer's vision for the team. According to data from Pro Football Focus, Alabama has the most 5-star players of any school in the country on its current roster. DeBoer has 15 of those 5-star players under his command, many of which are offensive players. With this exceptional talent, DeBoer is well positioned to lead the Crimson Tide to a conference championship and national title next fall. Alabama has all the tools it needs to continue its success and prove the naysayers wrong. Now, all that's left is to put that plan into action. And your opinion? Comment, it's important.